So you want to get seriously flexible? Well, today we are talking to some bendy people from around the world, and we're going to be going deeper into this flexibility thing that we're calling end range strength, and reminding you of the workshop this Saturday at Unity Gym. Stick around, there's a lot of knowledge bombs coming your way. Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. I'm one of the co-founders of Unity Gym, along with my brother Yanni, and co-creators of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the way we do that is that we've created a program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. If you want to know more, download one of our free blueprints, the Flexibility Blueprint or the Strength Blueprint or the Nutrition Blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video for all of them. Now, as always, we're joined by Phil White, our resident physiotherapist, but as a very special treat for you, we are joined by international coach Joachim Hilderson, all the way from Belgium, to come and teach a kick-ass workshop with us this Saturday. More about that coming up soon. How are you, brother?
Very good, very good. Yeah, Australia's been treating me nice. I already got some sunburn going on.
Yeah.
Got to get used to it.
Yeah, cool, man. So you did a bit of sightseeing yesterday.
Yeah, it was good. Lovely place.
And did a bit of store to press to just give us a little bit of a sample of what's going to be going on over the next couple of days. We've been training with Joachim at the gym here, and it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, man, it's unreal. It's awesome. It's always really cool when you train with people that are, of a level at least that you are above you, and you just learn such cool stuff when you see what some other people are doing, and you're walking right beside them.
Well, I was going to say it's good to be able to teach you like a lot, since you've been here, show you.
If for those of you that are watching live, pull out your phones, go to Unity Gym's Instagram stories, and have a look at just a couple of the clips that I filmed of Joachim this morning and yesterday doing some stall to press to handstand.
Goofing around.
That's like the white whale for me, the stall to press to handstand, and I'm getting close. But watching someone be able to do it right in front of you is seriously impressive. It's an amazing move.
You know he's good when he's complaining about not being able to do it as he busts out 3 reps.
Yeah, that's right.
Not as nice.
Up, but,
it's all good, man. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. So we've got this cool workshop coming up this Saturday. I've called it the End Range Strength Workshop, and because to me, it's a concept that I've heard you talk about a lot, end range strength. But for those that don't know anything about it, do you want to just talk us through a little bit about what we're going to be doing this Saturday, man?
Yeah, sure. I use terms in between one another. Like, there's the end range strength, there's full range strength, there's mobility, there's flexibility, there's everything. And I use all the terms just separate from one another because, I teach what I find works. On people. If it's passive, it's passive. If it's active, it's active. I just try and see what works, and I just try to build people. But yeah, the workshop on Saturday will mostly be, and this is a sentence that I've got from one of my former coaches. I want to shout out to Body Flex at this point because I've learned this sentence from him. And he said to me, if we increase muscular capacity at our available end ranges, we have the potential to overcome the stretch reflex actively. And, I've been studying different methods, different people, and they all fall a little bit within the same line of doing strength training to kind of overcome the stretch reflex and to get more flexible, to get better in what we're doing. And that concept just stuck. So for the most part, like I said, I will be teaching stuff that I just see working on people. But for the most part, is actually strength techniques that have the potential to overcome the stretch reflex. And as you get stronger, like yesterday we talked about strength means safety and safety means range, And this is just a good concept there, and that is what we'll be using on Saturday. So actually, this workshop is a workshop that I have created from all of my experience throughout the last couple of years. And it's one of these things where I am actually talking to myself, because I'm giving a workshop to my younger self. As I wanted, it's one of these things where I wanted to hear these things when I was younger, and I didn't know anything about anything on how to build up my body from the ground up, how to get to good compression, head to toe, front splits, middle splits, how to build up a back bridge, how to deal with shoulders, what fits in with what are logical progression lines to follow if you look at the human body. And that kind of sums up what we're going to be doing on Saturday.
Oh, man, I love that. And, what I want to quickly touch on before we skip over this, because the way that you described what you said makes perfect sense to the three of us at this table, but I think there's going to be some people that are watching that don't really get the magic of what you just dropped in that one little sentence. So the stretch reflex is something that goes on in the central nervous system, where when you try to, let's just say you're trying to, lift your leg up towards you, or even just if we talk about the average Joe, if we try to touch our toes, right? And as you get closer to your available range of motion, the nervous system kicks in to protect you and tightens the muscles that are stretching. That's called the stretch reflex. And that's actually what prevents you from going deeper into the stretch. It's not that your muscles are tight. People think, oh, my muscles are tight. Muscles are really elastic, and they're really, really good at giving. But so what you're talking about is that if we can learn to control ourselves into that end range by actively using the muscles that pull us there instead of just being pushed there, then we can delay that stretch reflex.
It's going to be one of those things where the brain says, this is safe.
Yeah.
I've been here. I've got the strength. I'm able to pull you into this front fold. And that's, exactly what you can apply to on the entire body.
Yeah, it's really good to hear you talk about capacity there, because that's probably the word I use most with my clients when explaining just how to be able to do something that you can't currently do. It's all about building up that capacity, which I often explain is like a bucket, and the amount of load you're putting into that bucket is something that you can control. And if you really turn that load up, by the sounds of it, when you first started training, you just went, when you got into calisthenics, just like turn that tap up to 11 and the bucket couldn't handle it. So now the way you're teaching is teaching how to like gradually expand that bucket by slowly turning on that tap. And I think that capacity is such a important sort of term for people to understand.
I loved the way you described the fact that the workshop in its essence is you're delivering what you would love to have got when you were younger, when you were a younger trainer, because that's so, Rad and I now, I see the results that a lot of our tribe members get in a year, here at Unity Gym, and I just think, holy crap, like they're developing faster than I am. And we said it yesterday, it's often the case your students become better than you because they're learning from your mistakes.
For sure.
It's such a powerful thing, and I think that's what excites me most about having you around here, just watching you move in your warm-ups and watching the way you construct a routine or a workout. There's so many insights for someone that's at our level, which is really, really good.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's cool. So, and we're going to be also specifically going through a couple of movements you were telling me, like we're going to be going through some progressions for like the pike and the pancake and middles and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be all logical steps to follow, steps that I follow with my online trainees and for myself for the most part, because I always try to look at what makes sense. Because, I'm an online coach, so I need to send videos to people and they need to understand, so it has to be kind of easy. If I make it too complicated, they make a lot of mistakes and I need to correct them over the internet. So what I teach must be pretty simple and effective, and it must be scalable for a lot of people.
Just to pause you there, I think that like the way that the fitness industry has gone is that you went into this kind of time of everyone just tried to be as complicated as possible, come up with the flashiest terms as possible, sort of start these systems for themselves that were just as complicated as possible. And I think the fact that you're simplifying, that's where the real power is consistency with simplicity, I think.
Yeah, it's important to know just what works on a large group of people and what's not. If you work one position, why change to a completely different position for the next round of progressing, like stick with a position and improve the level of difficulty, and people, get so good at that one thing that they end up being, really flexible, but also they're able to control themselves. So that's one of these things that I'm focusing on. And like I said, logical progression. So we'll probably start with compression, which is one of the things that a lot of the times just goes pretty well with people. It's not overly complicated. If you've got very good compression, it's easy to go over into a head to toe Like it took me 2 weeks to get head to toe because my compression was really good. Of course, we have to look at the ankle as well. But if you have good compression, head to toe is a logical progression. From there, we can go into front splits, what we will be doing at the workshop, then some basic hip rotation into middle splits, and then we can start talking about the upper body, like what I like to address. Like, for example, I train internal rotation with flexion. A lot of people do it differently. You know, if you're looking at back bends, a lot of people train external rotation and flexion to be able to do back bends. I do it internally and then flexion because I find it's a better fit. More on that in the workshop. And then over to some thoracic extension, of course, and into some building of back bridges and shoulder extension. Just, you know, we have a lot of time. It's a long workshop, so I'll be pretty much doing whatever and just the entire body and just the way I see it. The methods I feel are working very well on people with some practical examples and some practice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Just quickly before we go ahead, I just want to give a shout out to Quoc. We're going to see you tomorrow morning, bro. Coming and
Quoc,
working out.
comment for us. What time are you coming to the gym? What time does your flight land in Sydney? It'll probably take you an hour to get from the airport to the gym because we're really looking forward to having you here, man.
And we if we can, we're actually going to see if you can come on the show with us. That would be cool. And Kumaran has said, morning, how's the jet lag going?
Jet lag is, I thought it would be over by now. Like, I'm only here for 2 days or so, but yeah, we were really tired yesterday and we thought we'd had a great night's sleep, but we were up all night. So pretty much it's not over yet. Yeah. Kind of tired.
Settling in. He's settling in, but he was still able to perform some pretty incredible movement out here this morning. So I'd love to see you on a fresh, good day, mate.
And just so we get to Craig's question, with the head to toe, is that the one where I've seen a bunch of your photos and videos on Instagram where you're pretty much like biting your shoe. Is that the head to toe that you're talking about?
That's even harder than the head to toe.
No, like that's like a party trick kind of thing.
If you haven't seen it, would recommend.
You can take it to that level if you want to.
He won't be able to.
Well, I just concern myself with
Richie to pull it
basic head to toe training. You know. Yeah.
Nice.
No, you can't.
And so
It wouldn't
Craig,
see it if I went like that. No?
Craig Jenkins has got a question here saying, "Hi, compression ? Not familiar with the meaning of this term in this context."
Compression means
Craig.
folding forward in a passive as well as an active sense. So actually, it's, you know, improving your standing as well as sitting front fold.
So that means when you're bringing your, you know, for the mortals out there, it's like trying to get your head down towards your knees, and for those of us that are a little bit more advanced, Craig, it's when you're trying to get your head towards your toes and your chest towards your knees.
One really important thing about that, which Joachim just said, is like it's both in standing and sitting. So if you were just to lean over and touch your toes, if you did that just to lower yourself down eccentrically, then that's just your back extensors, so the muscles that keep you upright, that you're relaxing. Whereas compression is a bit different, where you're using your trunk flexors, so your abdominal muscles and your hip flexors, to really pull you into that position. So it's not just like a passive hanging out there, it's really forcefully
working.
trying to get into that.
This is the first part of the workshop, and people will have quads and hip flexors that are going to be working and cramping potentially pretty fast.
If you're anything like me, then
I think the best example of compression strength is to sit in a pike position and lift your toes up off the floor, lift your feet up off the floor rather than lean forward, or a combination of both of those two, which is a really good example. of compression.
For sure.
You'll know what compression strength is all about when you lean forward in a pike position and try and lift your feet to your head.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Not fun for me, but nice that you guys love it.
I can remember the first time that I did, like when I say the first time, probably the first few months of doing compression, and it was just cramp. Like you'd get a few reps in and then you cramp so bad, you got to like stop and rub your leg and then you try and do a few more reps. Yeah.
One thing I miss about our original warm-up here at Unity Gym was that we used to include that compression strength drill in the pike straddle and single leg straddle.
One thing I like about the new one is that you don't.
Yeah, that's right. And it was just always such a like harmonious wailing of people who have never done it before in there. As the quads cramp up, you know. So good.
Classic. Quoc's got a question here. And anybody else, if you're watching, if you've got any questions for Joachim or for the panel, put them in there because we'll be wrapping up soon, so get your questions in now. So Quoc's saying, I had a question about external hip rotation and training end range strength. Can you expand on external hip rotation benefits and what it can help with, example, middle splits, pancakes, etc.?
You know, more rotation means more movement potential in whatever you're doing. So expanding hip external rotation will be greatly beneficial in a lot of the times middle splits. You have your internally rotated and externally rotated middle split. A lot of people learn it, you know, in an externally rotated way because if you're doing your middle splits and you're externally rotating the legs, you can also pull from the hip flexors to get, you know, the legs open. In internally rotated splits, a little bit more of the glutes that work, you know. But, you know, it also expands into, you know, movements like dragon squats and all that stuff. If you have the external rotation capacity, you can do so much more movements. So rotation is always important, as well for the health of a joint and for, you know, being able to express certain movements freely, you know, Cossack squats, dragon squats, middle splits, all that stuff. Yeah.
You know, Kwok, and this is a Kwok, you might find this interesting. If I go back about 4 years when I started, when I basically made a decision that I was going to get flexible. And 4 years ago, all I knew about flexibility training was what I'd learned from martial arts. But I said, I'm going to do this every day. And my number one goal back then was I just want to get the middle splits. I want to be able to finally do the splits because I tried to do it for decades in martial arts and I never got there. And I was working every day on it for a very long time, like about an hour every day, And I kept straining my adductors and everything. And I was sitting about this far off the middles for about 6 months. And I just got so frustrated that I wasn't getting any better. I thought, man, I'm just going to try doing some other stuff. And I started doing some active pigeon. So, Kwok, that's like loaded lifts on external rotation. It's like the yoga pigeon, but you're actively lifting your body up and down off the ground using your glutes. And I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and my middles dropped to there. Like it just happened straight away, you know, from stretching opposing muscles, you know.
And one thing to keep in mind about the external rotators of the hip, it's very similar structure to the shoulder, where your external rotators in your shoulder, 3 of them are your rotator cuff muscles, 1 internal rotator. But the same thing applies in the hip joint. Those external rotators, they do the rotation, but they also function as the structure that keeps the ball centered in the middle of the socket. So it's a really, you know, you're getting that benefit of being able to externally rotate, making the, you know, stretch more through your hamstrings, bringing your hip flexors into it. But also what it does is really creates a healthy hip joint that can handle, you know, changes in range of motion while also being able to keep the ball in the middle of the socket, which is how you move. So
Yeah, awesome. Phil, can you just ask, keep the chat going for a sec, because there was one question that I wanted to answer, and I need to find out.
And this is actually with one of the online members who came in to see me in the gym and is having real problems with his middle splits. What we worked on was kind of treating the hips like a shoulder and really trying to train that dynamic stability within the hip, because just as we said, it's a ball and socket joint, and although it's a deeper and there's less kind of potential movement than the shoulder for good reason, because it's got to be a weight bearing joint, there's still so much work you can do to, you know, really work on that stability and allow that more range, which I think the best example of this I've seen is one of the photos on your Instagram where you've got so much external rotation that you've gone out with your leg and it's kind of up here somewhere while your hip's totally open like that. And I think, you know, if you didn't have great dynamic stability that can really hold the ball in that middle of the socket, then you're going to have a really bad time in that, and your body's not going to allow you to do it.
So it's cool. I can't find it. Sorry. Sorry, I thought I had a question.
So how, like with that one, jump on his Instagram because it's wild. Like you've got your leg going literally like sideways up to sort of above your head, and you're sort of holding on your foot up here somewhere, which just blew my mind.
Yeah, could be.
Very quickly, guys.
Standard.
I want to welcome a few new people to the tribe, to the online tribe, and I just want to make sure that I get the pronunciation of a few names. Is that Grant Chase?
Well, it's Chase and Grant Jafarian.
Welcome. Claire and Jose. I'm assuming that's how we pronounce it now. Jose's already posted a few things, and that is exactly what we want to see, brother. Greetings from Australia, back to Germany. Thank you for jumping in here, and thanks for posting your first video.
The online coaching.
Yeah. So we'll answer your question with a specific video comment when we get around to it, because it looks like.
And Claire was the one who jumped on and said she's listened to all 37 episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
Commute to work, and so I was having a bit of a chat to the guys and thinking. for all you people out there who are a bit behind the times, Australia is pretty far forward. We get our New Year's before everyone else. So I'm going to put together on a Friday afternoon to release on a Saturday. So your Friday's some best of past episodes, because we only started turning the podcast into the show into a podcast at the beginning of this year. So we'll go back and have a look at
we've got the last year and some really great interviews with people like Brad Gerlach, who's a professional surfer or a retired professional surfer, big wave surfer, some of the strongest people in the world. So Phil's going to do one of those best of for Friday in America, US. So it'll be our Saturday. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all we've got time for today. I'm going to a couple of quick announcements for the end. If you are in Sydney or can get to Sydney, we still have 2 spots left available for this end range strength workshop on Saturday. It's $200 to train with a world-class coach. Honestly, it's chump change for what you're going to get out of this. I'm so excited for this workshop. So if you want to attend, please, you can DM us on Instagram or Facebook, or send me an email, rad@unitygym.com, to grab one of those last 2 tickets. It goes from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have had a couple yesterday we had 3. We got somebody jump on and grab it. So yeah, don't miss out. And the other thing I want to say is tomorrow's show is another exciting show for us. We're going to have Joachim here again. But we've got one of our online members, Quack, who's coming down he's on our show daily, and he's coming down from Queensland for the workshop.
He watches our show daily.
Sorry. And we're really excited. We're going to get him on the show because we want to have a chat to one of our online tribe.
He doesn't know this yet.
He doesn't know,
he has just said, see you tomorrow, lads.
See you tomorrow.
There you go. Well, but I did invite him to come and train with us tomorrow. So if you're going to train with us, you're going to have to come on the show as well, man.
And a couple of things. Again, a big shout out to our YouTube tribe. We're about to hit 21,000 subscribers. It means so much to us. It's a really, really big deal. It's a community that we've been growing quite heavily over the last year. Have you announced what's dropping this week as far as online?
No, I haven't. I haven't made the announcement. Let me do it because I've put all the work in. So this is huge. We are releasing our press to handstand masterclass. So it's a 3-phase program that's designed to take you from no press to handstand to your very first press to handstand. Yanni and I had to work our butts off for this, piecing together information from YouTube to try and figure out how to get it done. And because we've got a really solid strength and conditioning background and we understand progressions and progressive overload, we've put together a program and a process that we used to learn a press to handstand as adults who weren't very flexible either. And we've had a lot of people requesting this over the last year. We've held off on it because we wanted to more support people that were earlier on in their journey. There's more people that need help, in that really early stages of their journey that need help getting something like a press to handstand. So we wanted to get all that stuff built out, and we're finally at the point where we're ready to release this program, and it is really an amazing program. Yanni and I put a lot of thought into this. It's a proven method. It's something that has developed the press in a lot of adults at our gym, and Yanni and me. And it's going to be a really cool program. And as always, when we release it, we're going to be releasing it at a huge discount for the first 72 hours only. So
to you guys and the people
to our inner circle. So anybody that wants to get a press to handstand, grab this program. It's going to be epic.
It's the first program that features our new gym layout too, with a few new features in the gym. So that's very exciting. Now the other thing that I'm excited about is this document that I'm holding in my hand, which is the final draft of the progressive intermittent fasting system that I've been working on for the last 2 years. It's a beast, and it's just getting its final proofread by myself. Phil's going to do it too. We've had one of our members proofread it, and she loved it, and then it's going to post-production with our graphic designers. So very excited to be rolling that out in about a month. Probably it'll be published.
And guess what? If you're a member of the UMS online coaching program, it's all included for free. So you guys don't have to pay another cent for any of this.
That's great as a mouse pad.
Yeah, and it's working fantastically as a mouse pad too. That's exactly right. So that's a big one for me. It's very exciting. It's the first section of our book, and it's going to be pretty cool. Anyway.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on again, brother. And we'll have Joachim on again tomorrow. So if anybody's got any questions for him specifically, put them in the comments. We'll answer them tomorrow. And grab one of those last 2 spots for this workshop. It's going to be epic. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. So yeah, it's going to be really,
Get your
really
questions
cool.
in, save yourself $200. Don't have to come to the...
Yeah.
Right here, man. It's free.
That's right.
So go in.
Awesome, guys. Hello, Blakely. Nice of you to join us at the end there. And yeah, guys, until tomorrow, let's crush your physical movement goals today, and we'll see you all in the morning. Unity. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, that's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that
It's the
far.
consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.